Hey guys, it's now 3:03 and we're getting started and I've got Rockman here. There might be a delay, so we appreciate your patience if there's a delay between us speaking, but we're kind of using the best thing we know, which is Discord, because otherwise it gets even really more delayed with other stuff. So we appreciate that and say hi to Rockman, would you please?
Hey everyone, how's it going? Good to be.
And of course, let us know if we're too loud, not loud enough, or one of us is vastly louder than the other. If my mods could do that. And otherwise, I'm glad you're here, Rockman. I appreciate the work you've done. If you guys don't know, he's going to tell us what he's been doing. But to get his boots on the ground in Seattle, Chud, whatever you want to call it. Chud is, I made that up. But whatever you want to call it, for him to go there is, I think, pretty brave. He had to do a lot. He'll explain it. He had to do a lot to really not get in any kind of trouble there. And so we should really appreciate what he's done. I know I do. So without further ado, Rockman, take it away.
Awesome, awesome. Thanks, Aaron. Yeah, for those of you who've been living under a rock, there's basically 6 blocks of Seattle, Washington, that have been taken over by anarcho-communists, and they're not calling themselves communists because, little known fact, communists don't have the same rights under the Constitution that regular citizens do. So they're going to do everything they can to avoid calling themselves communists, but they're basically that in every way but name only. And they're not even really good at it. You can't have like a communist revolution while being sponsored by Domino's, in my opinion. Anyway, yeah, a couple of weeks ago, I went over to the chat for the first time. No one really checked my ID or anything like that. I didn't see any visible weapons, but there was like the visible security, like just hanging out by the barriers, and they had like their actual securities, which basically like walk routes, like around the blocks, around the areas and stuff like that. Basically like security guards in big buildings and theaters and stuff like that. So yeah, I walk in there. I play nice with people. I take some pictures of the artwork and I donate some money and stuff like that. I get handed a flyer for the march on the mayor's mansion and her neighborhood a few days ago, and I joined them with that. And I shared a link to that event on Twitch. I don't ever use Twitch, but I guess I just started now. And I also have some videos of the initial marches to the West Precinct, as well as like just a bunch of like the protesters just yelling at buildings and stuff like that. But as far as like the criminal element goes, they do everything they can to make sure that they're not caught on camera. The footage that you may have seen or that you might see from here on out, they don't want you to see.
Well, there's also a big difference between what happens in the day and what happens at night. I would think too. But just recently, I think you put it up that there was 2 kids shot and one of them was killed, and they're cheering for this. Like this is something they're cheering about, and it continues to be called a peaceful protest in mainstream media news.
Yeah, they peacefully secured their borders from any intruders, ironically. But the kids that they shot, they're basically labeling these two black kids, one 14, one 16. One of them's dead. I'm not sure which one, as fascists, and they're celebrating their defeat of fascists. Like they're patting each other on the back and all this other stuff. So it's really insane what's going on, and I find it kind of strange how no one's really calling them out on it. And most of the time, like these shootings happen, these events happen. I'm literally out there like an hour or two before. Like when the shooting started, like in earnest, about a week ago, like 6 days ago. That shooting happened 20 minutes after I left, and there were still little kids out in the soccer field playing soccer and all these other stuff. There was like a meeting going on in the center of the field. They were talking about security, ironically. And yeah, it's really two entirely different pictures because they really work so hard to media to help them maintain optics. As far as everyone else is concerned, Chaz is being broken up, Chaz is being shut down, when in reality, they're getting stronger, they're spreading out, and they have an armory of weapons. And they're already killing people.
I want to speak to that what you just said about people thinking it's getting broke up. I have this guy on my Facebook that continues to post that it's getting taken down. because of one guy named McGinnis who had his Facebook or his YouTube taken down because of his ability to go and break up the Chaz, chop, whatever. And I keep telling him, well, now he doesn't, I don't know if he's been saying it lately, but the 2 times I saw him posted it, I urged him to stop saying that. I said, I've got someone that is going in there that's a friend of mine, and he's telling me otherwise, that this is not the case. It's not getting taken down, even if the mayor says it is. That's just optics. It's still running whatever they're doing exactly.
I just recently shared an example of what they do, like the extent they'll, like to the extent that they will carry out optics. And this wasn't in Chaz, this was somewhere else, but this man holding a dog just got jumped, just got beat up, and their medic, like they got like the little red cross on their helmet, prioritize shutting off all the phones around him instead of actually helping him. So yeah, what's more important is optics, and what's more important is the narrative and the at least carrying up the illusion that socialism, communism works. And do you have that flyer that I shared
A flyer. I got this Twitter. I'm not going
in
to
the
play
bottom
it,
left?
but I'm not going to play it because it's disturbing to me to watch people get beat up for no reason. But anyway, what's the flyer? Where is it located? And I'll find it.
Well,
Your voice just changed. Okay, your voice just changed to where I can't hear you as well. It was really loud and it just got quiet for some reason. I don't know if you like your phone, your headphones or something got plugged in differently. Okay. No, I mean it sounds like a headphone problem or something. We'll just have to keep going. I see law firm. Let's see. Jacera. I'm gonna post the flyer. Are you there? Uh-oh. Can't hear you. Ah, there you are. Where did you post the flyer? You can't hear me? Well, this is always fun. Can you hear me now? No, no. Okay, yeah, go ahead and I'll just keep everybody excited and interested for a moment because these things happen. I will try to find that, I did post you guys the Twitter of that guy that gets hit. I don't really want to watch it. I just hate watching that kind of stuff. I watched one that just, it got me angry. Somebody was punching an old lady, just ran up to her and just punched her. But they're going after white dudes, looks like. Stop recording, put your phones away. And then, like he was talking about, they have a medic, but the medic is just covering up evidence to help anybody, not trying to not trying to provide any kind of like medical need for these people that they're going in and doing these things too. And again, there was also, you guys probably know this already, but in case you've been under a rock, they've also been telling white people at these peaceful quote unquote protests that they need to pay like $10, $20, whatever, give it to a black
hello.
person. Hooray.
Yeah, for some reason Discord went green, orange, then orange to red, and then see it's going red again. So I'm not even sure if you can still hear me.
I can hear you, and hopefully you can hear me.
I can, but it's like a huge delay now, and it's orange again. So I don't know what's Discord. I do know that they are actively trying to stop this information from coming out because the mainstream media wants to make sure that the the protesters, that the rioters stay optical, that they stay legitimized, and they'll lie, they'll do everything they can to make sure that happens. We saw what happened with those two boomers that were protecting their mansion.
Mm-hmm.
Like they were the villains.
Yeah, we put up some great memes on those guys. in the Discord, and it's okay if we have a delay. We just gotta wait, and then the other person will eventually start talking. That's a good meme. He just wanted to grill. Now he just wants to kill.
Who were claiming that they couldn't even access the article that I shared.
Really? Today? Where were you sharing them?
The that one article that had the interview with the homeowner with the AR. That article, a lot of people were saying they couldn't even access the article. The access was denied.
And I'm sure that's the one. So what I heard earlier from Mr. Obvious, as I told you, we're just going to have this conversation out loud because we were having it. That I heard that they bent the knee, according to Mr. Obvious, but you're saying that's not true. And even though the guy said, supposedly said, I support Black Lives Matter, Black whatever, BLM, that maybe he didn't really say that, or they're changing that narrative a little bit somehow.
Well, from what I heard, he is a liberal Democrat, so of course he would initially support them. However, the narrative that came out that he apologized to them, that he bent the knee and all that, wasn't true at the time that they were saying it, because the only thing he apologized for was the fact that his gate got broken into. Like he was apologizing for that. Like he didn't. Since then, there's a statement from his law firm saying that the reason he reacted the way he did was because he was afraid of the mob, and that this has no bearing on his support of Black Lives Matter or the law firm.
Well, I guess if he's a liberal Democrat, then I guess you can't say he bent a knee because, like you just said, he's probably leaning that way in the first place. So that makes more sense. I mean, once you got to get you got to get the whole story right. Like, I mean, so the fact that he came out like that, that's
Well, we got to remember the context here. If you don't bend the knee, if you don't do that, then your business is ruined, your life is essentially ruined, and your mansion, your house is going to get burnt down. All the businesses within the Chaz have Black Lives Matter signs, have rainbow flag signs. They're in total
jeez.
solidarity, paying whatever they need to pay. However, behind their backs, they're secretly filing lawsuits against the city
I wonder if they'll even get anywhere, though. I mean,
because not to protect them.
when I was hearing on Canary Cry News Talk today that there was some of these people that was a I can't remember. I gotta go back to it's on Canary Cry's um, Patreon. I can go find all the articles, but it actually show a video of a guy saying that these people are applying for their protest or whatever, their supposed peaceful protest, and these are the same people. They're talking like Antifa and Black Lives Matter, but they're also asking for police. They're asking to have a protest to defund the police, but they're asking for police to be there.
I have to make myself clear. The people, the ones that are suing the city for being unable to protect them, are not the protesters within the Chaz. They are the residences, and they are the businesses within the Chaz that are essentially browbeaten and forced to have the Black Lives Matter sign up. They're forced to have the rainbow flag up. They can't go up against the mob, or else they'll lose everything.
Oh, yeah. Jeez. Well, I mean, yeah, and but this is
And I
why.
want to make it very clear that the relationship between the protesters and media is total and complete solidarity. They will lie in solidarity with each other on all levels. I mentioned and I will keep mentioning it because it's supremely important. A big example of this is the Corona scare. Me and Bubba essentially agreed that much of the information that we were getting, that all of us by the Hong Kong protesters to undermine the Chinese Communist Party. Now, I'm no fan of the CCP, but lies are lies and misinformation is misinformation, and they followed that model over here. The media is in lockstep with the protesters, and they'll do everything they can to make sure that the protesters look good, look bad.
Well, that makes perfect. Of course, that makes perfect. Say something, and I forgot what it was, but never mind. You were mentioning while you were in there, you were getting attacked by somebody a little bit. Like, tell us how, like, how many times did people try to interact with you, thinking that you were maybe didn't belong, or that kind of thing. Tell people how you did that. Like, how did you get in there and interact with people?
Well, this happened outside of the recording, like not I didn't record this. I literally my phone was about to die, so I shut off the Twitch. And then what happened was,
I can, but it went really quiet. It went more quiet again.
hello.
Yeah, you went quiet again.
Yeah, I'm orange again. The same thing happened. My headphones cut out. So can you still hear me?
I can. You're just a lot quieter. So just speak up, I guess.
All right, I'll just continue the story then. So what happened was there was a mother and her like 8-year-old daughter. They were there and they had like the Black Lives Matter T-shirts and she was wearing the hat and everything. And they were talking about indigenous people and how the land that's over here belongs to the indigenous people and this that and all that bull crap. Um, well, essentially, they were also praying to gods, the spirits of the land and all that crap. So, it's really clear like where their mentality is at. They're everything anti-Western, anti-European, anti-history, anti-humanity. Really, it's basically the remnants of every single person that has lost, like every single battle throughout history. Just they're just after revenge, and they're saying exactly what they're after. They want racial justice. They don't want equality. They want justice. They want to oppress everyone the same way they've been brainwashed into thinking they've been oppressed. And Dana Ashley had like a video that had the true history of slavery that mentions the Barbary pirates and the Irish and everything like that. And I recommend everyone to take a look at that and basically just take note. Don't let them lie to you. Don't let them make you feel guilty for no reason because that's the root of their power grab. They want everyone to think that they're guilty of all these things when they're not. They're actually the victims in all the things that that they're being accused of.
Yeah, that's a good one to.
Oh, I kind of went off on a tangent here. So what happened was, you're asking me about the situation. Okay, so what happened was she was making Indian chants, and someone thought it was racist that this mother-daughter combo were making Indian chants, for like Native Americans and stuff. And they kicked her out of the march. And I was like, well, that's not right. She's here in full support of Black Lives Matter. She marched with us. She's here in solidarity, and you just kicked her out. And I'm like, that's not very tolerant. And then they said, we're not here for tolerance. And then I said, you proved that point very well. Thank you. And then they started screaming in my face about racism. And I basically just started shouting 6 feet and Black Lives Matter at them until they left me alone. Though I didn't know until after I was beginning to leave that one of them was still behind me, keeping an eye on me and stuff like that, because I dared to speak up.
Right. Yeah, they're this is a lose-lose situation in there, and that's why I was saying the other day that I kind of it's I'm not saying this from a standpoint that oh too bad you asked for it so you screw you guys because I've never said that. I'm like in fact we're all urging you to get out. Maybe it's time to just completely leave and never go back and just get out of there. And so we do care about people that are there, but at the same time we're going to see a lot of the liberal left who voted this in crying and wanting aid and a lot of people saying we need to help them, and I'm kind of saying they made their bed. We've warned these people. We've been warning them. That's what we've been trying to do with frustration. We've been trying to warn them. We've been praying for people to wake up. How much more can we really do? We're not going to go in there and save them. And the Hells Angels for sure are not coming up there. They have no reason to go and try to take over Seattle. And I see people continuing to say that. I'm like, okay, that's been weeks ago now, and they've still up unless Chaz and Chop is trying to take over their specific turf or where they have a club or something. Then I just don't think that's happening at all. I mean, you didn't see any bikers up there, did you?
Ever since the beginning of that rumor, the date was supposed to be July 4th. Um, However, I'm pretty sure that's just one of many 4chan ops that are out there to make all the people within Chaz and their allies around the country even more paranoid and stupid. There's a reason why they keep shouting "Proud Boys, Proud Boys." They're everywhere when there's really not a single Proud Boy over there other than that one time, and it's because of the anons that are out there pushing misinformation and messing up with their comms. It's actually pretty hilarious.
That okay, and I've seen that too, where they're trying to blame. They're saying, "Oh, it's these right-wing people are causing the violence in there." That's the mainstream media, and so yeah, I just can't. watch that kind of stuff because it just frustrates me. But like when you showed the video of that woman the other day and she was screaming, but she had her mask on and her gloves
They're
on because
literally saying they shot those two black kids because of
oh,
Hitler.
who's saying that?
The people celebrating fighting against fascism, to them, shooting those two black kids to them was fighting against Hitler. Like,
Oh,
that's
right.
their mentality. That's their rationale.
Right. And the other day you were showing me that woman, or we were talking about that woman that was screaming
And
at the.
once again, I'd like to point out that those black lives don't.
Yeah, go ahead and finish. We got a delay.
Yeah, we got a massive delay.
Just go ahead and finish what you were saying.
No, I'm done. I already said it. I'm
Oh,
not sure
okay.
if you heard all of it, but I'm done.
Okay. Well, okay. So do you remember when I was talking to, remember talking about that lady with the mask on and the gloves on, and she was screaming and because the guy was harassing her. This is what we're going to start seeing. And as right wing people, the best thing to do would be to not get angry because I think those are setups. I think them showing white women freaking out. I think they're paid to do it, and there's always somebody paid to film it. Because we're hearing reports that these people were like kind of waiting around and then doing it. And I'm not talking about that gal screaming, but what I'm saying is they're going to try to harass you or bother you. And as right wing people, we need to like stay calm because I'm also telling myself this because that's something that I would do is like get really mad and I might be like, get out of my dang face, I'm not wearing your damn mask. And so I want to make sure
I
that
actually disagree. I think it's about time we start being unreasonable because we're actually have to fight for our survival.
well,
They're
I want to
fighting a
tell,
race war.
I have a reason
We
why I'm
can't
saying
have
this
one
though.
side fighting a race war while the other one's not fighting a race war, or else it's just gonna be a slaughter. I don't wanna be all like, no, we need to stay calm. We need to let them eat themselves and yada yada yada. I don't think anyone here has really voted over a neighborhood. I know I didn't vote for that. And I would welcome the help, but then again, that's just me. It's time to be unreasonable.
But
I'm not
I
gonna say
okay,
it's good to just sit around and roll over and stuff like
that's not
that
what I said.
because I know
I
I'm
had a point
sorry.
to
It's
that.
just I'm a little edgy because,
I know, but I had a point to what
and
I
I
was
think the
saying.
delay messed me up too because I didn't even hear everything that you said.
Okay, well I wasn't done because what I was trying to say is if what they're trying to do is plant people that look like they're going crazy about wearing masks and they're calling them Karens and they're turning this Karen thing on us and making us who don't want to wear masks or who want to fight back, they're making it look like we're just nut jobs. And that's why I'm saying if somebody tries to harass us like that guy was harassing that woman would be to not react to that or react differently, especially than she reacted or some of these what they're trying to call Karens. Does that make sense? Because I think there's people out there purposely trying to aggravate and they're I think just so that we can they're trying to say oh look at this horrible person and kind of like that barista that was supposedly getting $65,000 for
I'm having a really hard time making out what you're saying.
okay well I don't know what to do about that.
I don't know if it's the Discord end. You keep cutting in and out, in and out. I guess you mentioned that one scene where that one woman didn't want to get recorded and she was harassed by the guy who was just trying to sell T-shirts. But that guy was crying racism, this, that, and that woman knew that she was gonna get her life ruined because this guy wanted to sell some T-shirts, and that's what you're talking about.
Yes, but I was mentioning also that there are paid people that are getting paid to react poorly to people who are getting in their, getting they're causing a stir also, and they're pretending to be right-wing patriots. They're pretending to be right-wing activists, and they're saying, "Oh, like I won't wear your mask," and they're throwing these fits, and the mainstream media is letting that story go viral and calling them
Oh yes,
Karens.
yes, absolutely. There's Craigslist posts are specifically for those. Actually, I need to find those.
Right, so that's why I was saying that's the part where you don't want to react. If somebody's trying to harass you like that guy was, and they're trying to label us as crazy nut jobs, I'm not saying don't stand up, but I'm also saying they're trying to paint us as these Karens, these crazy people, because we're the non-mask wearing people by giving that barista $65,000 for refusing to serve somebody who wouldn't wear a mask. Well, then the lady goes nuts on him. Those people are paid, I think. They're paid to do that.
Yes, and there's another incident where a bunch of quote unquote white right wing extremist white people stopped this guy's car from like moving because they thought he stole the car, and those were all.
And then you have to wonder about like this Catholic guy supposedly getting beat up. I don't know. Maybe he really did. And but a lot of people are using this guy who is like, be the guy with the gun. Don't be like these Catholic people out there. I don't know if you saw that, the guy getting beat up. But anyway, we're veering off track of Chaz, Chud. And um, anyway, I did post where your Twitch. But what else do you want to tell us you think is going on there? I know you mentioned something about there could be they could be getting shipments of things in while people are looking at the protesters. There could be something going on totally that we're not seeing.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, and I can. They're saying it's buffering.
Can you hear me?
I
Hello?
yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, cause for a second there I didn't. But yeah, to answer your question, the route that they always like to walk over from the Chaz to the West Precinct, that's like a daily routine, like an hourly routine for them. That route is sandwiched on that route is the internet infrastructure of the city. So there's that, and of course there's also like the ports that are nearby as well, that they have access to. And I also want to reiterate that the Chaz isn't just the 6 block radius. Um, they have cars in the corners as far out as like a mile and a half out, like all the way up until my neighborhood. There's cars just parked up in the corner, keeping an eye on everybody and things. Um, so yeah, and there have been reports of people not getting help from the cops outside the Chaz repeatedly as well. Yeah, the situation is getting worse, and they have like veteran security guards with the John Brown Gun Club, and they're being sponsored by the Democratic Socialists of America, the Afro Centralists, no, Afro Socialists, and the Colored People's Socialist Caucus. And there's also a Socialist Alternative, and the radio station that one's affiliated with as well.
Yep.
This is all organized. This is a takeover, and it's going swimmingly. It's going according to plan, and no one's stopping it.
And I think the point is not to stop it. And so what I mean,
And
how
we're all supposed to believe that it's actually like Chaz has already gotten.
I think that might be the biggest takeaway is that it's still up and running. It has not been shut down. But I heard that we're having a little bit of buffering. My voice connection says it's green, so can you still hear me fine?
I've been on Orange for like 20 minutes, so that's why I'm not really sure exactly how much is getting through.
I think well, I can hear you clearly when you talk. It's not breaking up at all, and I think it's just the Discord that's breaking up and people can hear us bickering. But I guess if there's anything else you were talking about the masks. Do you want to bring up the masks at all regarding what's going on possibly?
Oh yes, yes. Put that picture up on the screen there, that truck, and let me because yeah, it's possible pedo activity like the furries. So give me 1 second.
So there's this truck you guys can see, and it says GRR Bear on it, and that is these creepy looking masks. I'll pull up real quick here. Up quick, but I'll try to pull them up while we wait for Rockman. And I don't know if there's like, well, we're wondering they are creepy, but he'll explain there's some kind of connection to these. Why does it do this? Possibly a connection to these masks and pedophilia. It's taken forever to load. You can kind of see the tiny picture here, but they're like animal looking masks. They're totally ugly. IMO.
I posted it under general voice text, but what a pup is a citizen man, and it's just essentially just another word for a boy. So the whole furry community, and I know it's an entirely different subject and huge subculture that would probably just make the average person throw up. But yeah, it's essentially another example of a child trafficking ring. These pedophiles groom each other with anthropomorphic animal characters, and these masks are essentially and that was essentially the truck that was stolen by those two kids out for the joyride. Like those two kids were out on a joyride and they were driving around the soccer field, and the John Brown Gun Club killed them.
So two kids were driving this truck that says Gur Bear on it. And so why do you think they would oh, they
That's right,
stole
and
they
that's the
stole
truck
it.
with all the bullet holes.
That's right. So, okay, so that's bad. You can't have that being found out, I guess maybe, huh? Wonder if that was just chance that they stole that or if there was something else. Maybe they were getting
I don't
away.
know what you said.
I said I wonder if it was just chance that they stole that or maybe they were getting away from something. Maybe they were escaping something.
Well, all the witnesses are well, one's dead and the other is in critical condition. So I guess we'll see where that.
To say anything. Well, I don't know. I'm just
Oh, and
speculating.
they were actually laughing. They were laughing when it happened. When they're actually.
Who was Did I lose you? Okay. Well, any sound from Rockman. So, Rockman, if you can hear me, you might jump out and jump back in. I think when he was saying that they were laughing, he's probably talking about the people that killed these kids, which sounds suspicious. If they're taking off in a truck that says this Gerber thing on it, and they're young boys, it could be that they were trying to get away from this kind of situation. And they didn't have guns. They didn't find any guns or ammo or anything on them. And I can't hear you at all, Rockman. So if you can hear me, you might want to like jump out and jump back in. Yeah, it looks like he's going to do that. And then to have this Gerber pup masks. They're called pup masks. And that's why he brought up the Urban Dictionary of what pup means. And the young, it means gay young man or adolescent, which is, ugh. I mean, there's got to be something to that, I think.
Hello, hello.
Oh, you sound great again. Your sound is good. Yay.
All right. I don't know how long it's been since you last heard me. What's the last thing that you heard me talk about?
That they were laughing.
Okay, yeah, that's pretty much it. Like they're laughing, they're pistol whipping this kid. They're gaslighting and projecting everything that they're accusing the cops of doing. They're doing it themselves, and they're loving it. They're reveling in it. They're having a blast, and this is all being supported by the local government.
That's the worst part about it, that it's being supported by local government, probably being paid. I mean, they're being funded. Said there was something about Raz was getting money, and it's going, where his strip shop is, there's something called Metabank there, and Metabank is connected to funds that are Hillary Clinton related. I think you had done that dig. Don't even bother. Oh, now we're back on. And it's
All right.
green. Okay, now you can talk. That was interesting. Go ahead, what were you going to say?
Keywords. I'm going to say something completely different than what I was about to say because keywords, key phrases are being tracked in real time and monitored, and it's across platforms. Just yesterday, like there was a mass banning across a bunch of different platforms, including Discord. So all of our times are numbered.
Yeah, I'm telling people to refresh because I typed it into the chat to refresh because that was weird. It disconnected and then it came back just totally green. And now you and I are able to talk fine. So yeah, dang. If only you could. It's just too hard to come up with code words for everything.
Well, the problem is the enemy is allowed to talk about and say anything they want because they're required to do so to interact and communicate with each other. Whereas anything that we might have to say to each other, we'll get banned for. It's just another military tactic. This is a war that we are in, and they are trying to kill us. And they want us demoralized. They want us dead. They want our children to transition to the opposite sex, and they think it's funny. These people don't require. We don't need to give them the benefit of the doubt anymore. Mercies for the Lord. As far as we are concerned, they are active combatants.
Right, and it's only going to get worse. And I don't say that to scare anyone. This is a prepared, scared thing. But being prepared, we need to know it's going to get worse. And I have friends that I try to say that to that are pretty normie like people. But I'm saying it kind of as a warning, not to be scared. To say be prepared. She was shocked when I said this is going to come back probably every year as far as the corona thing goes. This is going to come back every year. They're going to want us to shut down every year for some amount of time. When she finally looked up at the numbers, she taught herself, realized herself that this is all fake because she decided to research it herself. And this is somebody who's like been a lifelong Democrat. So it's if we can, there's still ears to hear and eyes to see. And I wasn't trying to say that anyone there where you live deserves what they're getting. I'm just saying it's kind of hard for us to go in and help them.
No, well, I guess I am giving like a little bit of mixed messages here because I am saying that like you know people didn't exactly vote for a warlord to take over, but at the same time, they did choose their political affiliation, and even now they're still apologizing for the communist takeover that's going on right now. They're mental gymnastics, excuse after excuse, straw man after straw man, gaslight after gaslight. There is no getting through to a person that is just that retrospect. They're essentially Agent Smith in the Matrix. They are the enemy, and they will do everything they can to shut you down. And I want everyone to know, your normie friends, anyone that's listening that doesn't know everything that's going on right now. Um, if you live in a city at the very least, or like in the suburbs of a city, the chances of a really high. That's all I'm gonna say.
Yeah, people should probably leave the cities, and I think that is a warning I felt like for saying a long time ago. And I'm still kind of in a city, and I definitely had somebody not like my Trump flag that I put up because I do support my president, and they took it down 2 days after I put it up. But I have surveillance cameras now. So I have a question for you. What would you say to anyone thinking they might go themselves and see what's going on in the Chop or the Chaz? Would you even recommend anybody bother going in there?
If you're close by and you must see what's going on, then go in like a tourist. Go in saying that you're here to look at the artwork, to see what's going on, to possibly donate. Be friendly, say Black Lives Matter as many times as you need to, but just don't show up after the sun goes down.
Right, because then even yelling Black Lives Matters won't not do you any good because you could be a black kid and they'll shoot you and laugh about it.
Yeah, they'll call you a member of the Proud Boys, even though you're a 14-year-old and a 16-year-old kid going out on a joyride. And I think it's an interesting coincidence that two underage black boys are in a truck that has like a pedo symbology on it. So I find that kind of strange.
That's why I was saying earlier they might have been trying to escape something or leave something, or maybe they weren't escaping, they were part of it, but they got away or something. And so maybe they weren't just two kids of that and they were trying to get away, or they did something to upset the group. You know what I mean? And now they're trying to paint it.
They were trying to get out.
Right,
The
that's what.
roads were blocked off. They couldn't escape with the truck, and they were boxed.
Oh, that is terrifying. I'm so glad I don't live there anymore, although I don't think I live where they blocked it off, but close enough that
I
I
think
wouldn't.
we have a huge delay.
Stream's getting red again. That's why I was thinking we could just, because of the conversation and the difficulty, we might need to wrap it up and just give a last final thoughts on your end.
Okay. Final thought. This is the result of cultural Marxism taught in our universities. Ever since the school of Frankfurt was shut down in '33, and the University of Columbia welcomed those professors into it. This is all a cause and effect. This is all connected, and it's even connected to the that essentially runs everything. We're actually competing ancient Babylonian cults, basically playing tug of war with this fallen world. But this conversation can get deeper and deeper and deeper the more we dive into it. Right now, it's essentially just a bunch of little kids LARPing and a bunch of wolves hiding behind them. And you'll see it in my Twitch footage. Like they are calling for the white people to act as shields for the black people in all these scenarios.
And there's going to be white people that are totally willing to do that, which is scary and terrifying to me. And I'm not going to. There's no way I'm going to have anything to do with protecting these people ever, nor do I feel bad for any of them or want to help any of them that are part of the actual. Um, anyway, I think you're right. We could get it more into it, and I think that'd be great of us to do one of these days. Hopefully, we can get a smoother stream. I haven't had it be this bad in a long time, so it's pretty odd.
Yeah, it kind of feels like we're walking through mud right now. One more final thought. If you are like sympathetic to their cause, just remember that if you don't have enough melanin in your skin, they will betray you.
And it sounds like even then, when you do something wrong, like you said, it doesn't even matter. It doesn't even matter anymore what is going on. They will kill anyone.
Yeah, they will do anything they want, and they will hide behind any perceived oppressed minority to do it. Men, transsexuals, children, old people, just anyone that may be considered weak, they'll stand behind and quote unquote empower, which is essentially a satanic inversion, right then and there.
I've tried to warn people when I made the video about legislating equality will destroy a free nation. If you haven't watched it, watch it because it's exactly what Rockman has talked about with Yuri Bezmenov when he wanted to talk about the Bolsheviks because I take basically the information that Yuri Bezmenov gave and I make a video out of it. So it's not my, I didn't create all that information. Yuri Bezmenov told us back in 1984. And some of people is that this is what they're going to do. They're going to, and then they're going to take their activists and all their useful idiots, and they're going to get rid of them too. I have tried to warn since over probably almost 2 years ago since I made that video, and tell people you are going to get taken out too. You're going to be, as an activist, one of the first to go. Not just us, the ones that they've been using.
Yuri Bezmenov is a name that must be spammed everywhere and any all over the place. Everyone needs.
You cut out, but I think you were going to say, yeah, everyone needs to know who that is. Everyone does need to know who that is. He did an interview with G. Edward Griffin in 1984. He wrote a book, was a KGB defector that moved to Canada, and he tried to warn us then. And he didn't get much of that information out because most people have never heard of him. So if you can, please watch my video, legislating equality will destroy a free nation. I've posted it twice because I've tried to get, probably because it talks about people they don't want us to know about. In fact, my kids were just watching Annie, the old one, Annie, yesterday. Annie, Orphan Annie, Daddy Warbucks. They were just watching that, and some guy comes to attack Daddy Warbucks, right? And Annie says, "Who was that?" And the gal that's the secretary or whatever, she says, "Those are the Bolsheviks." What do they want to hurt Daddy Warbucks for? Well, because we want a free America, and they don't want us to know we can have that. I'm like, oh my God, forever the Bolsheviks, like you said, and it just hit me, and I couldn't believe it. So anyway, I know I said final thoughts a minute ago, but after saying all that, any kind of response or final thoughts you want to give, please go ahead.
Other not really, just memeology on YouTube. It does really good job following the events of Chaz, as well as Twitter. And has like a little database going of all these protesters getting arrested and released right away. And Command and Control on D Live has a constant feed on all events going on in like Chaz and DC and all this stuff. And that's essentially where you'll find like a bunch of anons just sharing information with each other. And that's usually where I'm lurking. So
We'll drop that link in the Discord, and then I can put it in this description box, even though nobody ever reads the description box.
All right, Aaron. I'll drop links in chat right
Cool. All right. Well, I'm going to not give any major final thoughts because I could have so many, but why don't, I mean, as we do research, if we want to, or we uncover things, let's go live again and maybe we'll try a different time of day and see if it goes better, but whatever. And I appreciate everybody's patience with the streaming. I appreciate your patience, Rockman, with the delay because this is really big channels that are going through this. So it's not like I'm some cheap channel, you know, I got a few thousand viewers and only 10 people come on live that it's me not knowing what to do. But it really is everybody dealing with this, whether it's a subject matter, whether they're not letting our stuff stream well because it's simply right wingers that have been flagged or what's going on. So thank you for the patience, please, guys. I appreciate that so much. Know that I'm grateful. And
now. Oh
Rockman,
yeah, I was trying to
appreciate
do
you.
a stream with Radio Ruin the other night, and we couldn't even get a word in edgewise. We couldn't even do a show at all. We had to cancel.
Right. So so that's why you're patient. You've been through it. You know how it is. This happens, and even with my upgraded internet, it's the streaming probably through YouTube. If we were streaming almost anywhere else, it might not be that way. Hard to say, but yeah. Anyway, with that, I'll let you get on with your day, and we'll do some more research, and we'll come back live again. Okay?
Thanks, everyone. Thank you, Aaron. I had a blast.
All right. We'll be talking. I'm sure again today. I'll talk to you soon.
Hello?